सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये नारायणी नमोस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये नारायणी नमोस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये
Good afternoon, friends, followers, channel members. Happy Friday. Oh, I actually don't want to start the stream. I've decided for the next 3 hours we're just going to sit and watch the dancing ground crew. I promise I haven't got any sort of mod that enables the ground crew to dance, but how perfectly in sync they all are. Oh, I've never seen anything like this. Look at that. This is brilliant. I just want to sit here and watch. I don't want to go any further. Forget the approach into Kathmandu that I was going to be doing a little bit later on. This is brilliant. Just sit here and watch this. Coming in just before we've even got going, Migs. Hi, Migs. How you doing, mate? Thank you so much for your kind donation, kicking us off very, very early on our Friday afternoon stream today with the £2.20, sorry, Canadian dollars. Migs, amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's not have any failures today, please, guys. Please. It's going to be a difficult enough approach as it is. Really looking forward to this flight, though. You know I like flying different parts of the world, stepping out of our EasyJet flight deck and doing something completely different. So yes, welcome. We are in where are we? We're in Bombay, aren't we? We're in Bombay, and we're off to Kathmandu, India, of course. Nepal Airlines. Looking forward to this flight, looking forward to the scenery, and just generally looking forward to a Friday afternoon with you guys. So thank you so much for coming on board. Let's just see if I just jump into the chat. So welcome to David, Swiss Pilot, Elliot, Aviation, David, Nick Burrows here as well, both here and on Twitch. Jack Russell, good afternoon. What did he do? Yeah. Big Jack was gaming. Hey, Mark, Dave Butler, good to see you guys. Kidrick Varma, excellent, you're here as well. Sean Duff, good afternoon, mate. Thank you for coming on board. Because if you can't do Faro to Paro, the next best thing is Kathmandu to Mumbai. I did think about Paro and I thought, you know what, I've probably got a bit more time to do that. It's not a long flight, that is it, from Kathmandu. Roland, good afternoon to you as well. Matt Vale, hello, welcome. So the dancing ground crew, yeah, this is clearly just the way this airport has been set up. Shout out as well to Wrong Way and Evil Rock and Roll 47. Thank you so much for your £2 donation, kicking us off as well. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're going to enjoy the afternoon stream and flight with us. So I'm not actually sure what time the sun's meant to set in Kathmandu. We might be in for a nice sort of dusk approach as we get in there. And Clinton says, welcome to Mumbai, mate. See you love our Bollywood. Yeah, it's just feel-good music, isn't it? Of course it is. And when you've got a dancing ground crew to add to it, even better. Hey, Scotty, good to see you. And welcome to our Twitch viewers as well. Channel mod Nick is over on Twitch. All right, operational flight plan is pinned into the chat and on Twitch as well, courtesy of Nick. Thank you for that, mate. Good to have you here. We best get on board. We are on VATSIM as well, just for good fun. Although there's not actually any air traffic control here at the moment, but that doesn't matter. So we will do this as real ops as possible. I don't know standard operating procedures for Nepal Airlines, so we can't really call it a real ops flight. But we will of course do our best. Let's get on board and then we'll get going. It's a decent flight time today. It's why is everything shut off? Oh, stupid first officer. Let's pop that back on. Yeah, so the flight time's around 2 hours, something like that. Might be even longer now. We've just lost all ground power. Thank you, First Officer George. I asked you, please, before you shut down the APU, make sure the external power is connected. Did he listen? No. Okay. Right. So, well, while I'm waiting for all that to come back up, let's go through the information on the tablet. Oh, it's not casting at the moment. All right, well, let's just do it the old-fashioned way. Let's grab the current weather information here in Bombay. I'm not going to do the full flight setup again. I'm sure it's fine. So departure is Bombay, of course. Winds 280 at 12, 6,000 meters visibility. You can see it is actually a little bit hazy and foggy here, so it's nice to see that METAR being respected. We've got a few clouds, 2,000 feet. Temperature's 31 degrees. God, it's warm. Doesn't feel like that in my office, that's for sure. No significant changes. The condition 1005. Fantastic. David on Twitch, roughly how far do I have to pull the side speed back when landing? Very, very little, particularly even less if you've got a headwind. You only need a slight tug back, and the important thing is to hold it. Don't let it go, because the nose will continue to lower down if you let it go. So yeah, it only wants to be a slight tease back. Yeah. So let's see. Can I get the operational flight plan up on the screen as well? Then now we've got that information. There we go. That should be coming in now. Fantastic. Clint says, "Trust me, it's 31 degrees in Mumbai." Well, you know, that's probably a good reason to get the APU on early. I mean, what have we got in our cabin temperatures at the moment? Oh, actually, oh, come on, God, it's freezing in the flight deck. Oh, go away. Right. Freezing in the flight deck? It's not freezing, sorry. It's 34 degrees. That's can we open that and drag it back? Can't remember how to do this. Oh, there we go. Let's let a bit of air in, shall we? There we are. Don't let me forget to close those. Right, so operational flight plan. What we got? 13.7, cost index of 8. Yeah, 13.7 tons, cost index of 8. Tailwind of 37. That's nice. Departing runway 27. That makes sense with the winds. And looking to arrive runway 20. A lovely RMP approach. This is beautiful. 8.4 tons is planned, but of course we're going to be taking more than that. Particularly with the kind of approach we've got. Right, I don't know this part of the world, so just checking the grid more as we go through. Anything above 10,000 feet, you would expect it to be getting close when we get to our destination. But en route, yeah, en route's fine actually. Quick look at all of the alternates. All of that is Cat 1 conditions. Not too much of a crosswind either, and either for takeoff or landing. So that's fine. And if we just have a look, what the weather is planning on doing in Kathmandu. So currently visibility is great, excellent, that's what we need. It's 25 degrees, oh nice, that is the temperature I much prefer. Visibility looks like it's going to be okay. Just checking, what's the date today? It's the 5th, isn't it? Winds 2-0 at 4, yeah, so runway 20 is probably going to be the one we're going to be using. Alright, there's nothing there to suggest that the weather's going to deteriorate or anything rubbish. Same with the alternates, light winds as well and good visibility. That is essentially what we're looking for, and that's what we've got. So there's our flight route then today. Not really any significant weather on there either. A little bit of turbulence maybe as we come in, but the hills, you know, the Himalayas, they do that. Alright, so plug fuel then, I think we'll just throw an extra ton on just for safety, so we'll go with 9.4 tons of fuel on there. Okay. So our alignment is going to take a bit of time just because of that. Okay, well, fair enough. Let's just go through. We've got our nav logo lights. They are on. Migs continuing with the donation. Migs, mate, thank you so much. Gifting 5 EasyJets in part of the channel memberships. Our first new channel memberships of the stream. Welcome to Tony, Bus Driver, Tobias, AG, and George. Migs, that is amazing. Thank you for your support, mate. Really do appreciate everything you're doing for the channel and keeping us going and happy. Thank you. Really generous of you, mate. Good to see you here again for another stream as well. So nav logo lights are on, acupressure's good, flap spoilers, parking brakes, fine. Okay, well let's tell the guys that we want to start getting boarded. It does sound very loud with that window open, doesn't it? I don't know if you guys can hear that loud enough on stream, but it definitely sounds louder with that open.
Cabin crew, we can open the doors now and start landing on board. Thanks very much.
Awesome. So boarding will commence shortly. All right. So let's continue our setup. But just before we do, Fraser 1850 gifting another 10 EasyJet SimPilot channel memberships. Guys, that is insane. That is 15 before we've even started setting up the box. That is incredible support. Thank you so much. Welcome to all our new members. Make sure you get yourself in the members lounge on our Discord server and check out the members only streams that we've had recently as well, where you can watch me fail at things when I'm testing stuff out. So welcome to Clinton, Viz, Captain Shaquille, Casual, Pierre, Jonathan, BKG, Blueface, Virtual Pilot, Pedro, Spitfire, Raf, not in real life Sim Pilot. Guys, welcome. And Fraser, absolute legend. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, mate. So mixers, yeah, we've got 50 new members per minute. That is ridiculous. Okay, so let's continue with our setup. So QNH just check. We've got 1005. That is fine. Let's get on. VHF2's on the guard. Frequency are monitored. Radars are off. Switching panel. Thrust levers. Engine mode masters. Yeah, gravity. That's fine. Gear down and pop constraints on. 1005. Initial climb out here is flight level 120. There we go. And just confirm on the overhead, we've just got fuel pumps on and packs off, etc. So still just doing this with EasyJet sort of SOPs that we're familiar with. Alright, so data page, IRS, got 3 nav greens now. Let's come back in. CFM and everything, that's all well and good. Alright, let's do our init request. Hey, Doctor on board for Pure Well says it's a bit long flight, but flying into Nepal is always fun with the amazing views of the Himalayas. Absolutely right. So the flight number today. Let's get the information back up on screen, then we can copy that across. So unusual flight number than compared to what I'm used to. So it's RNA 202. A cost index of 18. Tropopause is, oh my god, that's high. That is ridiculous. 5557. I don't think I've ever seen it that high. 31 degrees the ground temperature. Ouch. Just to the wind request. And IRS in it. Swiss Pilot, what does the cost index do? Ask me that once we're at cruise. I promise I'll come back to you. Okay, alignment's good. Planning 370 and 47. There we go. So, departing runway 27, isn't it? Yeah, runway 27. Anola to Alpha. And it's the Kakpu transition. That's the one. Insert. And right, the arrival. Now I hope this RNAV is in the box. So, just check we've got the right approach here. Because this RNAV approach is actually quite new in real life. So the RNP AR20, yeah, this is the one, so you can already see how much fun that's going to be. Yeah, so the RNAV 20 is what we're going for. And it's the Simar 3 Romeo arrival. That's the one. That comes in via Ratton. So that is a flight route of 930 miles. I've got 920 in the box. That's fine. So Radnav page, we'll just pop in the Bombay VOR. And also a little one a little further out at the Alpha Alpha uniform one as well. That was turned on. Radnav's done. Let's have a look. Have I got a load sheet yet? No. Okay, well, we'll take it off here then. So, estimated fuel weight is 57.8. Clearly the dispatch is not working quickly today. Too warm. Far too warm. Alternate, let's call that 1.7 by the time I've done the go around and disappeared from Kathmandu. I'll do fuel planning, see what block fuel it wants. We have 9.4. We're going to take 9.4, which, as you can see, is already plenty more than we need. Yeah, there you go, an extra 1.2 tons, which is around 35 minutes extra flight time. So that's fine. Okay, so that's done. Performance page. Well, we can't do the full performance till I've got the final load sheet, so, or even a preliminary load sheet to get going. So let's just look at a couple of other things before we do. So I don't know what thrust reduction acceleration would be at this airport. It's all down to noise abatement. Let's just have a look. Taxi procedures. Have we got any noise abatement stuff? Do they care about noise here in India? Startup and pushback, departure. I already know where we're going. Pushback facing southwest. This is where we are, by the way. Victor 10. Taxi out, taxi line Tango. Okay. God, there's a lot of charts here. Oh my god, how many charts. Why have they got all these information of where to push back to? Don't the ground crew just need those? Return to destination. Absolutely not one jot on cost index. Right, in that case we'll use our usual EasyJet stuff. Airfield elevation, because I don't know the airport. What is it? It is 26. Okay, well in that case I'm going to go 1026. 1026. And engine out 1026. Nepal might use 1500 feet as opposed to 1000, but there we go. And do flaps 1. Alright, so that's probably as much as we can do at the moment. Let me just load our Fenix aircraft up with the fuel that I said that we wanted, which is going to be 9.4 tons. So just add that on the tablet. I'm aware you can't see it, but I'm just doing that now. And there you can see the clean speed's just changed. So there we are. Right, so that's done. I will have a look now at the secondary flight plan for the engine out procedure. So we'll just copy the active. And of course, SimSmart won't work here because that's only got European stuff in at the moment. So we're going to have to make our own engine out procedure here. Let's have a look at the map and decide what would be sensible to do if we lost an engine on departure. Just before we do though, Migs, wow, that is incredible. A 22 Canadian dollar donation. Migs, unbelievably generous. Two quick questions. When does EasyJet stop require the fuel pump to be turned on? When clearing all white overhead or just before engine start? So once refueling is complete, Migs. So all depends on that. That is just the SOPs obviously that we're following here. Other airlines have it different. You don't have to have the fuel pumps turned off for refueling, however. That's just what we do when we're replicating this airline. I know we're landing at the Mumbai Custom Scenery today. I hope not, but we're taking off from we're doing Bombay. It's Bombay to Kathmandu. So if we end up landing at Mumbai, something's gone wrong. But Migs, amazing support of the channel, mate. Thank you so much. Really glad you're here for it. I hope you can stick around for the full flight and of course the landing into Kathmandu. Let's have a look at this area. I don't know this part of the world, but look, we're going to be departing straight out over the ocean, so it would stand to reason a standard engine out procedure is going to be fine. We can just fly straight out, and we know there's no terrain or nothing in front of us. We can climb steadily and not hit anything. So in that case, let's have a look. We'll just create an engine out procedure. We'll just make a custom waypoint. It's quicker, isn't it, for the stream? Got a long flight ahead. So yeah, 27270. So that's VABB. In fact, no, we'll just base it off. Just base it off the NDB. Sorry, the VOR here on field, which is Bravo Bravo Bravo. Our departure tracks 270. Pop that 15 miles out. And then what we will do, if we look at the approach, that's what we'll go straight out, and then we'll make a left turn and come back to hold at the Mumbai VOR. So let's just put place bearing distance 01. We want to force that left turn, so turn south a couple of miles, and then we're back to BBB, where we will enter the hold. Hold information, inbound course is 078 and it's left turns. So that's done. And then of course we'll be coming back in here to our destination. VABB Bombay. Landing ILS 27. No start. Is BBB one of the VIAs? Yeah, I thought it might be. If there's a VOR on field, you can bet there's a full procedure available in case of radio failure and stuff like that. So that now should be our engine out procedure. Let's just check that. Yeah, straight out, left turn, enter the hold, and then teardrop approach back in. So that's fine if we lose an engine. Really hope not though, because I'm looking forward to this flight. X-Play Gameplay, and hello, welcome, welcome on board. Hope you're well today. All right, good. That's all done. So the load sheet has come through as well, which is great because that might even be a final load sheet if everyone's on board. In which case, we can get accurate figures for the departure. Let's check that out. Yeah, final load sheet. So. Init B page, we've got a zero fuel weight of 50. That can't be right. That definitely can't be right. Let me just check. Let's reset that load sheet. Why is our zero fuel weight? 46.0. That is incredibly low. And a takeoff weight of 55.2. Nah, something's gone wrong there, surely. Our zero fuel weight should have been 57.8. Something has gone astray here. Okay, well, as I've not got accurate figures then, I think we're going to toga this. Got the correct fuel in the tanks. And I'm just checking on the EFB tablet. We've got 146 people. Cargo's loaded, tanks loaded. How very strange. I've never had that issue before. If you look in the bottom left as well, we've got a... in fact, we can use these figures because this is what we've actually got. Yeah, so there we go. 57.7 bottom left. All right, let's forget the load sheet. That ACARS is bugged. So we'll go to go here. Is 57.8. That's fine. The zero fuel weight center of gravity is 31.6. That takeoff weight then is currently 67 on the nose, and that's it. Right, let's do the takeoff performance calculations then. So it is dry, very dry. Runway 27, flat config 1, no need for any of those. Takeoff is 67, and that C of G was... Oh, what was the CFG? I can't remember it now. Damn, let me just go back. Didn't write it down either. Takeoff at CFG is 29.2. Let's do that. Has it remembered everything? Ah, it has. Excellent. Grab live weather. Any intersection data here? No, didn't think there would be, so we're obviously going full length. And there we go. So it's 152, 152, 153. My God, they're high. How long's the runway? 152, 152, 153. It's very warm though as well, isn't it, I guess? Flexing 63. And flaps 1. Okay. Right, box is set up, and I think we're done and good to go. Kevin Booth, mate, welcome. Thank you so much for your $2.99 donation. So much support for the channel before we've even before we've even spoken to the ground crew today, guys. You are all amazing. I hope you're in for an epic flight with us this afternoon. Okay, that's all done. We're happy with that. Let's do the brief. So, weather on departure. It's bloody warm. Wind is pretty much straight down the runway, that's fine. Visibility is 6,000 meters. Few clouds at 2,000 feet. QNH is 1005. Weather en route looks fine. Weather at Kathmandu, visibility is looking good, and wind's not too much, about an 8-knot crosswind at the minute, but not planned to get any worse either. So that's going to be fun. Aircraft A320. Only thing in the tech log is the weather radar. Hopefully shouldn't affect us today. No times that I've been bothered to read for our departure today. Threats to be aware of. Unfamiliarity, of course, big one with this flight, and then we just want to be aware that we've got a bit of terrain to the north, and a little bit as well to the east of the airfield. You can see there MSA as we depart 26, and then we're heading north. It's going to be 28. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We've also got no air traffic control either, so perhaps another little threat. All right, so let's talk about the departure, etc. So we're here at whatever terminal this is, Southwest Pier. We're at Victor 10, which is where the real aircraft departed from a couple of days ago. So we're going to push back. We'll take push back southwest. It's going to be Tango Hotel Mike 7 November, full length departure, runway November 1. I will not bother with a single engine taxi. There's no other traffic here, so we'll get out as soon as possible. So that's the taxi route. That is the plan. The departure itself is a NOLA 2 Alpha, straight out, noise abatement 2. It's going to be a right hand turn, no speed restrictions, so we can level off, accelerate on schedule as normal. Initial climbs will be flight level 120, and just be aware, as I say, that the MSA does get higher the further down the departure that we go. Quickly going through the box then, checking everything out. So, flight plan, just confirming on runway 27, LO2 Alpha's in there. Radnav, we've got the Bombay VOR and the AAU VOR, which is part of the SID. Both programmed on left and right. 370 is planned. 370, we're not going to be able to make that initially because we're too heavy, so we'll probably look to get to 33 to begin with, to be honest. So then we'll climb as we go. Checking the speeds, 152, 152, 153, cleans 210, thrust reduction 1026, 1026, or 1026. We're doing flaps 1 departure and flexing 63. Looking to depart then with a takeoff weight of 67, and secondary flight plan has got the engine out procedure in it. Let's just talk about that. So non-standard engine out procedure today if something goes wrong. So we are straight out over the sea, and once we've secured that and we're above, let's call it above MSA. So once we're above 2,600 feet, make a left-hand turn back to Bombay VOR. We'll enter the hold and come back in. We're getting nice and safe at the hold, which is, let's call it 4,000 feet. Then we're good to start the approach again. All right, that's all done. Think everyone's on board. Let's get the windows closed and get the APU started because it's going to get very, very warm the moment we close all of the doors. It's just an aluminium tube baking in the sun, isn't it, at the minute? Although that sun is starting to set.
Captain, all passengers are on board and we're finished setting up. Doors are also now closed.
That's great, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. My name is Gavin, and I'd like to welcome you on board this Airbus A320neo aircraft. Our flight time today should be as scheduled, and we're not anticipating any delays or any bad weather, so we should have a nice, pleasant, safe flight for you. For the next few minutes or so, we'd like you to get yourselves seated, sat down safely with your seatbelts fastened, and make sure the aisles are kept clear so that our cabin crew will have a seat other fellow passengers. The ground crew are nearly finishing loading everything into the aircraft, so we look forward to a safe and pleasant flight with you today, and we thank you for choosing to fly with the EasyJet power. Thank you.
Right, overhead's now all done. Ground crew, you can remove the GPU, chocks, cones, etc. We'll give that a minute before getting the APU bleed on. Elliot, I will come back to that again in cruise if you don't mind. I know you'll probably have to run soon, but I'll try and answer that before you do have to run. Alright, so where's my checklist gone? Cockpit preparation checklist. Aircraft acceptance has been completed. Fuel quantity is 9.4 tons. Set and balanced. Seatbelt signs are on at DS3 now. Green bar FQNH 1005. Set and cross checked and 20 feet. Okie dokies.
Cabin crew, we're about ready for flight, so if you can please arm the door and cross-check, thank you.
It's gone to Unicorn 122. Bombay traffic, Nepal 202. Stand Victor 10. We'll be pushing back southwest on Tango. So beacon light, acupressure and transponder. Before start checklist, parking brake is on, takeoff data is confirmed, windows are closed, EFB and phones flight mode silent, doors closed and armed, beacon lights on. Oh, an Italian voice, Italian, Indian voice, not heard that before. Exploit Gaming, how many hours is this flight? About 2.
Bypass being inserted.
2 hours. Hey Dark, how you doing, mate?
Looking here.
This is also a freeware airport as well. I think this looks brilliant.
Release parking brakes.
One of those simple but effective freeware airports available from flightsim.to. Okay, parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Alright, noticeable steering is disconnected. Engine mode selected to ignition, starting engine 1. Oh, what we got? No, that's nothing to do with the aircraft being rubbish. That's to do with the pilot being rubbish. Should put the bleed on. Try again. Okay, let's just reset that. And engine mode selected to ignition. And let's start engine 1 again.
Ladies, gentlemen, and channel members, on behalf of the crew, I ask that you now please direct your attention to the monitors and cabin crew as we review the emergency proceedings. There are 6 emergency exits on this A320neo. Please take a minute to locate the one closest to you, and note that it may be behind you. Count the number of rows to the exit. Should the cabin experience a pressure loss, stay calm and listen for instructions from your cabin crew. Oxygen masks will drop down from above your seat. Place the mask over your mouth and nose like this and pull the strap to tighten it. If you are traveling with children, ensure you put your own mask on first before helping others. In the unlikely event of an emergency landing and evacuation, leave all your carry-on luggage and items behind. Life rafts and
I love how dirty that engine looks. That's brilliant.
emergency lighting in the floor will guide you to your nearest exit.
Not clean.
Now ask that all carry-on luggage is stowed away safely during flight.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brake set.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Electronic devices must now be switched off.
Kevin forgot that a few times himself. Easy one to miss. Do you know what, Kevin?
to use them. Our
It's one of
captain
those things that,
experienced flight.
even in real life,
Fly with us.
it happens.
Now join the cabin and remember to take
It's
advantage
easy
of
to
the
forget.
service that makes the journey with us more enjoyable. Thank you for your attention and we
Right,
hope
engine
you
1
enjoy your flight.
is available. Starting engine 2. Right, I'm going to get both packs on as well. Normally I just get the one on, but it's... How warm is it in this cabin? I bet they're sweating away, aren't they? Not something I have to think about in Europe. Ooh, look at that. 37 degrees in the back, 32 there, 37 degrees here. Jeez Louise, let's crank that down.
Unlocking gear.
Remind me to turn that back up because it'll be freezing a little bit later on. It's one of those things, Kevin, there's those that have and those that will.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass being removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Swiss pilot, shortest EasyJet flight is probably Liverpool to the Isle of Man. It's about 24 minutes. Makes you forgotten a lot worse, like the RNAV approach. Like the approach button on the RNAV approach. Yeah, that's an important one. Right, engine number 2 is available. Okay, so engine 1 selected back to normal. And we can use the APU bleed. That can come off. APU master. That can come off. Anti-ice most definitely not needed today. And so on the spoilers, rudder 0, flaps 1, set the trim 29.2, just about there anyway. Just double check where we are taxiing. So first left, second right, first left. Okay, that's the plan. Bombay traffic, Royal Nepal 202, taxi now via Tango, Hotel Mike 7 November, holding November 1, runway 27. Okay, let's go. So, flight controls check as we move. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. MiGs, GSX on frame rates is okay. The worst point is when passengers are coming. That's when you'll probably feel it a little bit. Yeah, the sun is starting to drop now, isn't it? So there should be some gorgeous sunset views as we depart and head to Kathmandu. After start checklist, anti-ice is off, econ status was checked, pitch trim is 29.2 and rudder is neutral. Edoban, thank you for the follow on Twitch. And Tilted Tom and Craft24 as well. Craft24, thank you for your follows on Twitch. Sorry, I missed that. Right, just want to, because I'm not sure where we are, you know, airport-wise, just want to concentrate on where we're taxiing, make sure we don't get lost, and then we'll run through the checklists, etc. Tromex, would I recommend JSX? Yeah, I think so. It had its bugs to begin with, but now you can download a lot of profiles free from FlightSim.2 where people have done a lot of work making things look realistic. So yeah, I think it's good. And I do like the voices. They may not be accurate, but I do like the worldwide voices. All right, so quick check where we are. We're going on to hotel down there. These shadows. Awesome. FMA, we are in Nepal Airways livery. Call sign Royal Nepal. Hey Antrax, good to see you. So we're on left on hotel just here and then down there. Alright, so quick pet check. No change to our technical performance. We've got dry figures, full length departure, runway 27. We're flexing at 6.3, no QNH change. Engine out procedure is standard straight out above 2,700 feet. Left turn back to the VOR Mumbai hold. 4,000 feet in the hold. And just looking, we are going to take Mike 7 here, aren't we? Yeah. Departure then is an all 2 Alpha. First turn will be to the right. Noise abatement 2. No speed constraints. Clean up on schedule, and the initial climb we've got flight level 120. So the taxi checklist then. So flight controls have been checked. Flap setting config 1. FMA is climbing on blue 1FT2. We've got 10,000 magenta in the constraints. Radar and predicted wind shot both on. Ecam memo, got takeoff no blue. EFB is oh, it's not stowed because I got rid of it for the window because it was too warm. There we go, stowed, and let's disconnect it. There we go. X-Play flight, yeah, we're on Unicom today. There's no air traffic control, sadly. Kidrick, we can't do an intersection departure today, Kidrick, because we've not got the performance figures in the EFB for it. We've only got full length, so sadly it's going to be full length today. It's going to feel like a long takeoff roll, this. Kaslev, where do you find the top reports in the operational flight plan? I'm not sure about other operational flight plans, but the EasyJet layout has it along the first page, top right-hand side, that list of information. Hey, 02411, hope you're well. Gotta go soon, it's beer o'clock. Well, it is Friday. Coronation weekend Friday. And a bank holiday again. All these people that pay to put their children into nurseries on a Monday must be absolutely kicking themselves. Right, not heard anything on Unicom. The approach path looks clear. Bombay traffic, Royal Nepal 202 lining up for departure, runway 27 or 2 Alpha. Lineup checklist. Cabin secured. Takeoff runways. Full length 27. TCAS, TA, RA, and PAX 1 and 2 are off. Right, sunset takeoff. 2 hours flight. Kathmandu on nav approach. Let's roll. So, takeoff. Start the chrono. 50% N1. Engine stable, set takeoff thrust, man flex, SIS and runway. Ronald, poor passengers with the packs off. It won't be for very long. Don't know why, but I think that low sun and this runway with these lights, I think that looks awesome. That looks really neat. Checked. Quite a wide runway, or it certainly looks like it. V1, rotate. Nav.
Positive ready, climb, gear up.
Gear up. And thrust climb. Climb. Autopilot 1 engaged, let's get that pack back on. Wonder why the aft cabin's so blooming cold, so warm. It's 29 degrees. They're not going to be happy. There's airspeed, flaps 0, spoilers disarmed. Whizbits, mate, thank you so much for the 100-bit cheer on Twitch. Thank you for supporting us, mate. Right, so as we've got no traffic around, let's go direct Zupal. Make that turn. Loving that sort of cloud. It's not really a cloud layer, is it? It's more of a fog bank. We are, of course, on live time, so that's what we've got. Oh, 120 blue. No ATC. Let's just continue that climb. File 250 blue. Pop the terrain radar on now. If we were taking off the other way, I'd have probably had it on for the departure, but as we were taking off away from the terrain, it wasn't as essential. Now we're turning back towards it, we'll just pop that on. Right, so spoilers, flaps, gear. Lights can come off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll shortly begin our cabin service as we continue to climb to our cruising altitude.
330 blue.
Electronic devices, rechargeable battery packs are also available to purchase from our cabin crew. You can
So it's cooled down nicely. Look now, 20 degrees in the flight deck. Forward is 19, aft is 21. That's all right. Mark says it is modelling, I think it's pollution haze, which is brilliant. Ronald says that many of the Indian cities are covered with it as well in the simulator. Migs, hot, humid 29-degree cabin is always the ideal temperature to sell the ice-cold drinks. I like your thinking. Right, we're passing 10,000 feet. We've got the lights off. So, airport is on EFIS. Clear the... actually, I'm just going to leave BBB in for the time being. 330, we said that's where we're going to go up to because we're too heavy for our actual cruise. Cost index will zero that. And... second flight plan, I will leave the hold in there at Bombay for the moment because that would still probably be the best place to get to if something goes wrong. Alpha25 on Twitch, can we go back? I've left it my wallet in terminal. You don't need it. And Serious Tom, does anyone here have issues whether the simulator stutters on touchdown? A lot of people do get that issue. Try turning down your level of detail. That I think people think it's something to do with it loading details in as you touch down, so it might be worth lowering that and seeing how you get on with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned off. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
Kevin, I think it's the object, but don't quote me on that. I think it's the object level of detail you need to remove for that. Oh, did I just see something about Mexico City? Where's that gone? Oh, someone's just said you should see it in Mexico. Johan Jacobs should see it in Mexico City in the simulator. It's thick. It was in real life, to be honest. And that's it. We're away. Right, there was two questions someone asked me whilst we were starting up, which I just wanted to address once we were in cruise. Elliot, I've forgotten what yours was, mate, but come back. Oh, no, I haven't. No, I haven't. Right, so you asked Elliot. I can't show you now because we're actually in the air, so it's not there anymore. But when would you pop in on the setup? When would you pop in the up-down sort of trim value setting? It's airline specific, but if you look at the trim wheel here, you've obviously got up 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Then you've got down here, so you get that information, don't you, on the tablet and in the departure performance software. I'll just show it here. Yeah, there. So you'd enter the flaps and the trimmable horizontal stabilizer setting. Well, this actually doesn't do anything. It's just a reminder to the pilots. But the problem is, it's either up or down. Let's call it 0.5. So no, let's call it stronger than that. Let's call it down 3.2. for whatever reason. So saved on all your calculations, and the trimmable horizontal stabilizer needs to be set at down 3.2, and you then go over here, you wind your wheel and find 3.2. Well, it's not inconceivable that instead of setting it to down 3.2, you set it by mistake to up 3.2, because you know we're human, accidents happen, and indeed have happened with this. So a lot of airlines now disregard it and don't use it, and so instead they use the takeoff weight center of gravity, which is 26.9 for our flight today, which isn't ambiguous because there isn't a minus 26.9 or a plus 26.9. You just have to use the scale here, which starts at 10.5, 20, 25, 30, 35. You can't get that number wrong, but you can get up and down wrong, and pilots have. So lots of airlines now say, you know what, let's not bother with this. We don't need to enter it into the McDo. Makes no difference. So leave that blank and let's just use the CG setting instead, because we know that won't be wrong. So yeah, that's why you'll never see me enter it as part of airline SOPs, and a lot of other airlines don't bother either. Now, cost index. So cost index, you could be forgiven for thinking that cost index was simply just about the speed of the aircraft that it's going to fly at. Airbus are very, very careful to say it's not. It is so much more than just the cost in speed setting. So cost index is all about how fast you want to fly, how long you want to fly, how sharp you want or how shallow or how steep you want your rate of climb to be, or your rate of descent to be. So the cost index affects all of those things, and the pencil pushers that sit there in the offices, people far more cleverer than I am, work out for their airline what is going to be the best cost index for their airline. So if you're in a part of the world where fuel is more expensive than maintenance, for example, well then you want to reduce the amount of fuel that you fly. But reducing the amount of fuel means that you will be flying for longer, because obviously you're not travelling as fast. If you're flying for longer, the maintenance costs go up, because you're going to have your engines looked at every set amount of hours, etc. So it's a to and froing between what's going to be most beneficial for you as an airline, where you are geographically. If you're in a place where fuel's cheap, if such a thing exists, then you can afford to, perhaps go for a higher cost index where you're going to burn a lot of fuel, but you're not going to be flying for as long. So the amount of hours the engines are running is lower. And of course it also affects then the rate of descent and the rate of climb. So it affects where your top of descent would be, for example, as well. So lots of information into cost index. Lots of boring information into cost index, to be honest. That's a little bit choppy, isn't it? Nick, is the cost index similar to sports and eco mode in a car? I suppose you could look at it like that. Mick says, judging by the views already, there's going to be a beautiful flight. I think the only issue will be, if it will get dark. What time does anyone know what time the sun sets? In Zulu time, in Kathmandu. Kittrick, does it fetch engine wear level? Only in the amount of hours that it's been flying, Kittrick. Ewald, hey Ewald on Twitch. Yeah, I mean that's a good point as well. You can't actually set the trim value unless you've got any hydraulic pressure. So people who have been trying to set this before they powered up the aircraft, they'll think there's a bug because it won't move. Nah, that's actually just true to life. Without any hydraulic pressure, you can't set your trim value. Wow, that looks neat. VLK says 12:54 Zulu is sunset. Oh, in that case, it's already set then. About an hour ago. X-Play Gaming, have I flown in the Philippines yet? Maybe once. Can't actually remember. We do that many flights. Aviation Fun, is the 737 coming to Marketplace on Xbox? Why did part of me think it already had? I might have been wrong there. Brian says you expected the engines are working harder to fly faster, the wear and tear would increase. Potentially, Brian, I said this is not something I know too much about. You know, I'm not certainly not an aircraft engineer, but it's everything that's taken into consideration by, as I say, people far cleverer than I am working out what cost index is going to work for them. Tony, I definitely did fly to Cebu. Yeah, I do remember that. I think most of 737 is on Xbox, I believe. Yeah, I thought it was. X-Play, your AZU 1310. Fair enough. I love that. That little ray of sunlight just heading into the flight deck. Do the visors affect shadows? I don't think they do. Oh, that's a shame. Imagine if you put that up and it just turned the cockpit a tinge of yellow. Get rid of that. Although, it is quite nice. Clouds look well today as well. Don't you find that sometimes the clouds look better than others? I think mostly it's been a good week. Yeah, it's... My weeks at the moment are a little bit bitty, which I'll be honest, I don't like. I like a normal sort of Monday to Friday, but this week's Mondays to Friday has just been completely topsy-turvy, starting with the Bank Holiday Monday, of course. And then I had my... we had sadly no childcare for a couple of days this week, so that fell to me. So I've kind of been working abnormal hours this week, trying to fit in around it. And starting tomorrow, we're actually getting a new ensuite built in. Well, no, we're just replacing the one we've got. It's needed it. It's about 13 years old now. Which, what kind of... this is a great question to throw into the chat. What kind of person are you? Are you the kind of person that loves decorating and renovating, remodeling houses and all that stuff? Or do you absolutely loathe it? Me, I fall into the second category because it doesn't matter. It's, you know, so like we haven't worked on the smallest room in the house, but the rest of the house will be a bomb site because of it, and I hate that. I'm a very neat and tidy person, which, you know, it's bad enough having 4 kids because they've kind of wrecked that. Before the kids came out, my house was like a showroom. Before the kids came, slowly I've had to adapt. Hey, Elk Chocolate, I'm having a good day, thank you. Brian King, no yellow tinge, I want my money back. Elliot, I think we need an ATR run out of extra one day. Made it to Dublin. Do you know what, Elliot? I didn't know which flight to do today. I thought, should we do this or should we do the ATR? And I thought, do you know what? I've got lots of time, so we can probably get this one done. Or I've got enough time. I need to be in by... I've got about 2 hours from now to get to be done, which, looking at that, might be alright. We might have to just pull some speed and go a bit faster. Mac Alt Star's coming up. So, yeah, but I think you're right, Elliot. I think we need to do some more ATR ups. Spitfire Raff, you hate decorating. Thick moisty, a bit of both. Sometimes depends on his mood. You hate the mess, and you're lazy, but you're lazy to clean. Unlucky. I like that. I hate mess, and that overpowers my laziness. Right, Alt Cruise 330. We've just set that. Although 35. Let's continue. We've got no one around, so we'll go 350. That'll just help us a little bit. Right, open climb 350 blue. That's set in there. Let's just continue that climb. Kevin, is it normal to find the A330 easy to taxi in the 320? Fly by wire seems to want to run away. Right, well, Kevin, that's realistic. So the Neo engines, the nice, big, powerful, efficient Neo engines on the A320, your aircraft will just roll away at idle thrust. That's another reason why single engine taxi is nice, because it makes it easy to control. And also, if you've got rudder pedals with a braking action, that helps. Elliot, if something's clean and decent, don't change it just because it's time for a change. Oh, agree, Elliot. That's my main mantra in life. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Leanna, you love DIY, but you don't care for decorating. Yeah, I suppose the two are different, aren't they? Mark, you have good intentions when you start decorating, but then quickly get bored and normally end up calling somebody in to finish it. Mark, do you know, I have so much respect for a man that can admit that. Because I hate it. I will decorate it, and every room that we've done in the house, I have never had anybody in to decorate my house or do anything to it. But for the first time, we are getting, because I'm not doing an ensuite. Not a cat and hell's chance am I going to try and plumb an ensuite in. So no, we're getting people in to sort that. I mean, it's only a small ensuite, it's nothing fancy, but still. Someone tells me to remove that toilet and put that shower in. Like, nah, no thanks. I'll go and fly an A320 instead. Dennis, hate decorating because you could be using that time to fly in the simulator. Exactly, Dennis. Exactly. Yeah, right. That's exactly right. Start Bard fast. You're actually decorating at the moment. You don't mind it at all. Hopefully, then we're giving you something to do in the background. Kittrick, is the ATR from a different manufacturer or is it Airbus? So it's a different manufacturer, but funnily enough they're also based in Toulouse, which is where the Airbus factory is. Maybe they share ideas because they are very similar in the way you set up the box. It's a bit Boeing-esque, but when you're sorting it out, it's actually that a lot of it is quite like the Airbus. A flight to the Canary Islands would be nice as well. You mean in the ATR, presumably? I'm not doing Manchester to the Canaries in the ATR. I don't think that would help. But something like Binter, yeah, that would work. Tony, any view on the Gatwick sceneries? Find the Innobills one more FPS friendly. A few people have said that. I do have both actually. I'm just too lazy to swap over to the Innobills. I think mostly, yeah, flying an A320 is far greater than decorating my house. Right, we are at Alt Cruise now, so let's set that to below, and we'll just check the condition pages and do a fuel check and all the usual kinds of things that we need to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the cockpit, once again, just let you know we've reached our cruise level for the flight today. The cabin crew will be making their way around, serving drinks, hot coffee, teas, etc. So even any hours from here, all our experts will be ready to sit back and enjoy the rest of the flight. Thank you.
Alright. All's fine there. Okay, so let's have a look, see if we can do a fuel check. Matt, you just read an article about the Aerosoft A330. Can't wait. No, it should be really good, shouldn't it? Looking forward to that. Elliot, did the ATL get a flight model hot fix? I don't know, did it? VLK, same as the A220. Yeah, well, that's another one that hopefully should be coming to the simulator soon. I know nothing about that aircraft, so if we do a stream where I fly that for the first time, be sure to bring lots of food and drink. We could be there for a while. Mads didn't know that the Aerosoft A330 is going to have the onboard calculator flex type. Oh yeah, it's got loads. It actually looks like one of the most advanced aircraft that Aerosoft will have released. So really looking forward to that. Dennis, do you ever see that the McDo says the flight plan is invalid? Yes, so that will happen if the AIRAC database in your simulator is different to the AIRAC database in your sim brief. Make sure they both need to be the same. Migs, if you could decorate an A320 on the other hand, you'd be there at 5 AM sharp.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to commence our service of hot drinks and alcoholic beverages. Please assist us by ensuring your tray tables are down and that the aisles are kept clear of bags. Our drinks menu can be found in the pocket in front of you. We serve a variety of local and international coffee, tea, beers, wines, and spirits. Please note that alcoholic drinks will not be served to those under 18 years of age. We accept payment in cash or credit and debit cards. Thank you for your support of this channel.
Okay, so cabin crew are now serving and will assist you with all your drinking and gambling needs. Elliot Woodford, mate, I've got rid. I'll just leave it at that. I've got rid. I had enough. I do keep an eye on the chat when I can, and yeah, it was obvious something needed to be done. So until the next reincarnation. Enjoy your gin, Elliot.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy your drink.
Alright, let's have a look at our fuel. So we took 9.4, basically took a ton extra. With the contingency, it's about 1.2 tons extra. Okay. So then, let's have a look. Where are we? Pegnu. Okay.
Thank you. I hope you enjoy your drink.
Liana, yeah, that's pretty much it. Right, so at Pegnu we won 5.8, 6.8, 6 point, oh, it'd be 7 tons then, wouldn't it? Have we got 7 tons of fuel at Pegnu? Let's check that out. We could have got 7.4 and we're a couple of minutes away, so actually we're gonna, I think fuel's gonna be fine, which means I'm gonna be happy just to increase our speed a little bit. We'll go Mach 0.8, get us there a tad quicker, which you probably wouldn't do in real life. They'd rather have the fuel saving, but it also means that I just need to keep an eye on the time for oh, what am I doing? Is it swimming? Is it cricket? Is it both? Might be both. Now there's a view that we can enjoy for a while. Mix. Unfortunately, you don't get to pick, do you? I think it'd be kind of nice if you could, in a way. Aviation Masters, hello, says hello from the wonderful Philippines. It's quite late, but hope to stay with us until we land. That'll be amazing, Aviation Masters. Hope we've got a nice weekend planned. So we should be on the ground in about an hour and... if I said about an hour and a half, that wouldn't be too far away. We'd certainly be on the amazing approach by then, I think. Evil Rockin' Bro, I'm not going to be on Greta's Christmas. No, quite right too. Yeah, so after this, I've got swimming and cricket, I think, with my lad. How wrong would it be to dump him at one of them, then nip to the McDonald's nearby for some food and a nice large chocolate milkshake? I don't know if we've spoken about this before on the channel, but that is my go-to. If I'm on a, if I'm passing a McDonald's, it's very hard not to call in and get a large chocolate milkshake. Guilty pleasures. That can be our topic for this for the next hour on the flight. Jordan, what's wrong with McDonald's? Elliot, yeah, that's how you dad. Glad you think it's acceptable, Mark. Jordan, you're not a McDonald's fan. It's not the food that I'm a fan of, but do you know sometimes though, and this has been a real, you know, a real critic of it, a connoisseur of McDonald's milkshakes, occasionally they've clearly just replaced whatever rubbish it is that they put inside the machine. They must have topped up the chocolate, and just occasionally you can get that sweet spot where it is so chocolatey, which means it's probably so bad for you. You can get a really thick chocolatey tasting milkshake from there. Doesn't happen often, you've got to fall very lucky, but it's awesome. Other times it just tastes like vanilla. Mark, you're liking the new steakhouse burger at the minute. I have seen that and thought, I wonder should I try that? Baptiste also can relate to that. Oleana, not a chocolate milkshake fan? Kevin, you're now missing them because you haven't had one in a while. Aviation Master says he'll pass on McDonald's every day. I do wonder how much they vary from location to location. So where have I had McDonald's in life? Probably, obviously, here in the UK. France. I think I've had one in France. That might have been a KFC, actually, in Paris. New York, obviously. Got to have McDonald's in New York, just to. And it's usually not out of wanting when you're visiting, but it's normally out of necessity. So I remember we arrived, my wife and I, really late in Paris one night, and literally just ran to the hotel, dumped the suitcases and that, and we just needed food, and there was a KFC sort of across the street. Like, yeah, that'll do. Similar thing with New York, actually. Starbuck Fast. Actually, quick question about decorating. Coving or no coving? Well, our house has both, depending on what room you're in. I always find the paint seems to peel off of coving quicker than it does like just a normal ceiling or a wall. I mean, this is also a big topic for me. So we're having, as I say, the small ensuite done starting this weekend, and at the moment, I mean, I don't know if this is normal or not. You tell me. Skirting boards, which is what we call them here in the UK. Oh, what do they call them in America? They don't call them skirting boards. I forget what they call them. Someone in chat will help me out here. But we've got skirting boards in our ensuite, which you think about the ensuite, it's a room that gets very moist, very warm. Baseboards, thank you, Mark. That's the one. Baseboards. So a small ensuite, it gets very warm. It can get very steamy, particularly when my wife's in the shower, because she just turns it up to lava setting. I can't stand it too hot. But of course, it's just wood, so over years it just warps and goes a bit manky, and I hate it. So this time we're not. We're just tiling everything, floor to not all the way to the ceiling, just halfway around. And I thought, well, that's going to be weird, not having a skirting board in there anymore. But actually, much easier to clean, I think. Kittrick, he's gone. He's gone. He won't be back under that username. Brian says it can only be desperation that drives you to McDonald's. It's not that bad, promise you. Leanna, rather have strawberry, banana, mango, salted caramel. Nice milkshakes. Oh, salted caramel. No. No, can't stand that. Ugh. I'm not a caramel lover. Although, caramel fudge is really nice. So, that's an option. Elliot, it will look much cleaner, he says. Careful of the spots on the ceiling, though. It can be an issue if you don't get sealed. So we're not having the ceiling tiled. No, I'm not made of money. Oh, look at that view. Makes you love the iced coffee frappuccino that you get here at McDonald's. You see, that's another thing that I just can't get into. Tea and coffee. Alright, I have a couple of the specialist teas that I have, the biscuit tea and the jam and toast tea, let's not forget that. But coffee, just in the last 20 years, has undergone a mega transformation. There's mocha lattes, frappuccinos, iced frappuccinos or whatever. And so I'm going to America in 2 or 3 months' time. If I walk into a cafe, how do I say I just want a cup of tea? You know what? I want a tea bag, milk, a couple of sweeteners. Or if I was a coffee drinker, which I'm not, how do you say I just want a normal coffee? What is that called? Aviation Masters, yes, this is real time, real weather. Oh, Elliot, you mean the spotlightings that got you, Elliot? See, I'm no DIY guy. I know nothing. I'm useless at DIY. I can decorate, but when I decorate, I'm really particular. I was going to use another word there. I'm really particular about how I do it. So, the cutting in, I always use frog tape. I know it's expensive. Real decorators don't need that rubbish. But me, I want my lines to be absolutely perfect and not waving all over the place. So I actually probably spend more time masking up than I do decorating, and I hate that. Matt says, don't bother, the Americans don't know how to make a proper brew. Jordan, exactly. Normal coffee and tea is a very important part of life for us Brits. Spitfire Raff, banana milkshake is the one for you. I tell you what, we were talking about milkshakes. Well, let's do one of our unofficial polls. Okay, type into the chat your favourite milkshake flavour. Go, we'll see what comes out. I'd love to know. Mine is obviously chocolate. Chocolate's got to be right up there, hasn't it? Someone's going to type in something daft like cat flavoured. Leon, painting's all about the prep work. Yeah. Right, here we go. Kevin, chocolate, banana. Jordan, Mark, banana. Cookies and cream. I don't know that one. Leon, strawberry, banana. Banana's getting a lot of love. Vanilla. Oh, what is the point? You might as well just drink milk. Peanut butter? I don't think I've ever had that before. Fizz, another one. Can't go wrong with vanilla, Elliot, banana. Mixed strawberry, banana, and chocolate in no particular order. Possibly all mixed together. Jan, 42, vanilla. I can't believe this. Banana and vanilla seem like the two big ones. You're joking. That has really shocked me, that. Kittrick, chocolate only with nothing else available. Banana and strawberry. Strawberry I expected to be a bit higher on this list. Oh, Michael, there you go. Chocolate for him as well. What is an Oob milkshake, Aviation Masters? Well, I don't know that one. Boeing 777, I don't like. I'm not a Boeing fan, but at least you're on the right lines with your chocolate. Avocado chocolate. Are you just making these up? Matt feels chocolate all the way. John says, if it's a posh milkshake from one of those dessert places, then cookies and cream all the way. But otherwise, banana. Nice little emoji to go with that. End of days says, hi Captain, can see your aircraft on Volanta Network, flying just a few miles away from the city where you live. Excellent. Well, the sun is obviously just about to set. Let's have a look outside, because I don't think we've seen this livery properly, have we? There we go. Do you know what? That is actually a really neat livery. I like that. And do you know what? The painter has done a really good job of this, because look at the dirt lines that we've got from this. It's a mucky aircraft. Ah, is it a full moon tonight? Brilliant. That means we're going to get some night lighting in the sim, because the moon does affect how bright it is at night time. Mig says he's shocked to see such a large vanilla cult for it. Migs, I'm with you. I did. If you're gonna have a milkshake, you've got to have some flavour to it. Vanilla's just, well, you might as well eat ice cream. Or drink milk. Kittrick says, oh, the air traffic control there to give his exam starting at 16 Zulu. We might be there before. Ah, yes, we might be there before. We'd love to get that RMP20 approach, though, from him, if that is the case. So this livery was from FlightSim.to, not the Phoenix manager. But that is a very nice livery. Oh, look at that, the sun's just disappeared. The sun has sunset. Somebody has turned the sun off. That was brutal, wasn't it? Oh well, I'll go back inside now. Don't think I've ever seen that happen before. Aviation Master, so the Uber's a slightly nutty vanilla taste. It is popular, used in desserts in Philippine cuisine. They're often boiled, mashed with condensed milk. If I will try one if I ever make it to the Philippines. Never been there in real life. And Leanna says, hit the switch by mistake. Yeah, that's it. Turned off. Oh, do you know, we've been talking about food and milkshakes, and now I'm starting to feel hungry. VLK says the window needs a good wipe down. You're right, some of the windows in this Phoenix aircraft are disgusting. I'm pretty certain there's a hand and footprint on the flight deck window. God knows what's been going off there. Don't catch the side stick or the autopilot will disconnect. Right, I'm also then, we haven't done this, we should. Yeah, I think that's redundant now, isn't it? Let's get rid of that. Should have a look at some en route weathers. Hey, Swiss Pilot. I'm thinking about doing another flight from Switzerland. Oh, I'm always on the lookout for new flights. You know, that's probably one of the hardest things about streaming, is keeping the variety up of destinations. And I know we've kind of limited ourselves as well with the channel because we're pretty much an EasyJet focused channel. So I do spend a lot of time studying and investigating routes and things that might be possible to do. Hey Elliot, gotta make the coffee in the flask and make tracks. Yeah, I mean Friday afternoon drive time, Elliot, that's where it's at, right? But yeah, we'll still be here, about an hour and a half to go, I reckon. Well, box says hour and 20, but we'll have to slow down and things. Aviation Masters, I don't have a stream schedule. My life's too chaotic for one of those, sadly. Leanne says, can't speak for everyone, but he himself wouldn't mind at all if we did more non-EasyJet flights. I do get that, then. Yeah, I absolutely get that. That's why I get excited when EasyJet adds a new destination to their schedule. I mean, don't get me wrong, as Europe goes, there's probably not many places EasyJet don't fly to. One of the ones that they don't fly to that I really like is Genoa. Matt, we ought to stream his drive time to show his passengers. Yeah, we just have to cut him off though every time he played any music. As we get copyright violations. Right, let me have a look en route weathers because I don't know where we are. Let's have a look. See if we can see if we can find some airports that we can land at. Aviation Bulland has a stunning approach. Yeah, it does. Bergen as well. We haven't been to Iceland, Reykjavik, for a while, have we? Okay, so en route weathers. Let's see where can we go if something goes wrong. Let's go to our ATSU page. Hope you guys are liking the authentic backing soundtrack to our stream this afternoon as well. Alright, Victor Alpha Alpha Uniform. Check that out. VLK Parrot was an alternate. I don't think so. It's probably one of those that you can't plan as an alternate. I seem to think you can't plan Geneva as an alternate either. No, sorry, it might be Innsbruck. Might be thinking of Innsbruck. No response. Okay. Are all these places closed? Kitchener, I'm going to bow down to your better knowledge here because obviously I'm in a part of the world that I do not know. Where's that? Victor Alpha Bravo Papa. I'm probably picking airports that just don't work, or that they probably closed. Okay, that'll do. Where is that? 10 knots, haze, visibility's alright, isn't it? Bit hazy. Don't see that very often. Not in Europe. Unless it's the early morning. Okay, if we just go to our data page, closest airports, what have we got? Do we recognise any of these airports as flyable? I don't even recognise any of these airports, to be honest. VLK, no, that's not true, mate. It doesn't get its metadata, the weather data, from VATSIM. It gets it from, I don't know, whatever online source they use for meta. You can't get VATSIM information through the box. I think you can in the Fenix in the fly-by-wire aircraft, if memory serves. End of day, it's VAPB is the city of lakes in India. Fair enough. Captain Max, Victor Echo Papa Tango. Are these all en route, by the way? I'm trusting you guys here. Those with local knowledge. haze really does make your visibility drop down, doesn't it? Either way, apart from a bit of haze, looks like all of those alternates are fine. Right, how far we got to go? Brilliant. So, I am just going to go grab a sausage roll or something, because I'm hungry and I've got cricket and swimming to get through tonight, and probably not going to be able to sneak out for a McDonald's milkshake. I will be back in just probably under 10 minutes, and then we're going to start looking at this approach. Make sure you don't miss this approach. This approach looks stunning, and at night time under a moonlit sky, which is what we've got, it's yeah, it's going to be something else. So really looking forward to this. See, this sort of approach as well here is something that is quite new, this RNP approach. It's an RNP AR approach actually as well. I'm just going to presume that Nepal's official airline would be authorised to fly this approach. I don't know if they are, actually. They might not be. But yeah, aircraft, including an A320, once, I'm sure it was this airport, sadly crashed into the hillside over here because the captain was, he was like, doing all kind of things that he shouldn't have done. He was programming in custom waypoints and building up an approach which you can't do, you know, you're not legal to do that. And it all went wrong. The first officer was too inexperienced to pull him up on it, and they sadly all lost their lives hitting the hillside up here as they lost situational awareness. So yeah, hopefully that won't happen to us now. We've got this nice RMP approach. Should be a great approach, so stick with us for that. We're going to have to obviously brief that in detail, how we're going to fly it. I'm unfamiliar with it, so definitely lots of briefing to come. So give me 10 minutes, guys, and I will yeah, I will be back. We've obviously lost the sun over there, so we've got a nice moonlit night. I will leave you with this gorgeous view, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for being here, guys, and you've also been amazing with your donations and generosity supporting the stream today. I look forward to being back with you for the approach, and we should be on the ground in about an hour and 10, something like that. Back in a couple of minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our cabin crew will be around shortly to commence our hot meal and snacks service. Please ensure that your tray tables are in the downward position. To assist our cabin crew, please keep the aisles free of bags and any other items you may have. The food and snacks menu can be found in the back pocket of the seat in front of you. There is also a children's selection of food and healthy snacks available. Please dispose of any rubbish you may have in the bag provided at the ends of the aisles. We accept payment in cash or credit and debit cards. Thank you for your support of this channel.
Okay guys, back with you. Thank you for bearing with me. I might still mute the microphone every so often while I chew away. Man Destroyer 123, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Hope you're doing well. So I'm just hoping there's no nighttime restriction into Kathmandu. Obviously lots of terrain around. Should probably read through some charts while we whilst we do this. I say read through some charts. There's not much in the way of charts for Kathmandu, is there? So don't worry, you're not actually missing anything. I'm not speaking or muted myself by mistake. I'm just chewing away on my dinner and looking at the charts so that we can do a thorough briefing. Interesting that the max speed there is 250 knots. I would want to probably a little bit slower than that and getting down to green dot, because where's this all begin? 424 at 79. There. And this is the kind of approach that I'm probably not going to want to do as a decelerated approach. We probably want to be all nice and stable. Christian's in the house. Hey, Christian. Good to see you. Manchester 123, you're a 737 lover. Sadly, I don't remember those. 220 knots. Yeah, we're going to be slower than that. Shadow Dance at the Kathmandu Super Collider. Yeah, does look a bit like that, doesn't it? We're just going to be going round and round. I mean, the missed approach is entertaining as well. Not that I'm going to have time for that today. Hopefully, we won't need that. Straight in, but yeah, if you have to go round and round, I mean, wow, what a get out that is. So much terrain to be careful of. What we are going to have to do is make sure as well that we look at the box and make sure all these constraints are the same as well. Otherwise, can't do the approach. Christian says the Kathmandu Valley around the airport is actually bigger than it looks on the charts. It is, yeah, you're right. There's some great pictures and videos of aircraft doing this that you may have seen on YouTube, so it doesn't look quite as dangerous as it might appear. I don't like using the word dangerous. Nothing's dangerous. It's just, you know, a high workload kind of thing. But either way, it's still one of the more impressive arrivals, isn't it? A bit like the one into, is it Queenstown, New Zealand? That's pretty similar. Alex, no. Yeah, I mean, just look at the minimums, minimum safe altitudes there. It's who decided to build an airport there? Who thought that that's a good idea? Jordan, I've ever done Rio. I think we have once. Julie Chalmite, do you have to do the vertical navigation manually? No, this will all be done in final approach mode. In theory, we can sit back, monitor, and enjoy the views. Dennis, happy Friday to you. Hope to start simming again. Haven't seen FSX. Wow. And what was your favourite kind of flying there, Dennis? Aviation Masters, hello. Right. Well, that's going to be fun in a little bit. So let me see, where's it begin? It actually begins at Ratton, just there. So... Oh, 450... 8642. Minimum there's 88. Then Burrup and at 424, that's 79. I said that's where it all begins. It actually begins at 419. Mandatory is 74 at 419. So let's just see if that's there. Yes, it is. And a speed of 170. Which is here, isn't it? 419. Final approach point. It's got 170 in the box there. We're going to be slower than that. So what I might do then is we might just find that. tell it that at 424 I pretty much want to be 180 minimum. Okay, it's got 220 in the box there, look, so let's just change that to 180. So that should just help sort things out a little bit. Yeah, so obviously 10,000 feet, it's got the 250 limit in there, but we're going to be slower than that. What I want to do is get below the profile to help us give us time to slow down, but of course we can't get too below the profile. The lowest we can get is 88 at 442, which is fine. So that's all okay. Good, all the coding then is there, isn't it? That's the main thing. That and it matches up. How long have we got till top of descent? About half an hour. That should give me time to just finish eating my apple now. Hey, Fly Eagle 320, hope you're well. Kittrick says lazy people like me would just rather smash the plane down than do the missed approach. And Jordan, you think you've got to do a little bit more with the RNAV approaches? Don't do them often enough. You're lazy with the ILS. The thing is, Jordan, now it's a bit harder work in the Fenix aircraft, in the fly-by-wire aircraft. But in the Fenix aircraft, you know, final approach mode is very, very good. It's not too dissimilar from ILS, of course. Hey KW Airlines, how are you? What are all the planes I know how to fly? Probably, if I say correctly, only the 320. I couldn't claim to have any kind of expertise on any other aircraft than this one. A technical question. If you cleared for the visual approach, would you then be allowed to do the ILS approach? If you cleared for the visual EHAM, all it means is the ATC is washing his hands of you going, right, here's the visual approach. If you want to accept the visual approach, there it is. You cleared the visual approach, runway 05. Off you go, good luck. If you smash into a runway, if you smash into anybody or anything else, or it all goes wrong here, I've absolved myself of responsibility. It's all on you, the pilot. You, the pilot, if you accept that visual approach, it's down to you to use your eyes to get yourself safely down on the runway. However, there is nothing wrong with having the ILS system sort of turned on and using that as well. You know, they don't know, do they, if you're using the ILS or not? So it's more of a legal thing than it is a technical thing. Synthesis 26 on Twitch. Bing data has been corrupted recently. Mapping has turned into Minecraft. I have noticed a lot of data sort of popping in and out since this, so you're right there. As for it looking like Minecraft, probably not quite as bad, but yeah. Flying 320 says, nice to see you doing Mumbai Kathmandu sector, which will be a challenging approach. We will learn something from you. I tend to learn something from myself, Flying Eagle, every time we fly, usually what not to do. Chris says the night lighting is beautiful. Eating, drinking, and a full moon. It is full moon tonight. Racing Noah, thank you for the follow. Hope you are well. Choky Choke, good evening from Australia. Happy to catch an actual live stream with the time difference. Yeah, that is true, Choke. Sometimes I am able to get on an early stream here in the UK, so that would be sort of like your late afternoon, early evening time. I'm guessing it's quite late where you are now. Kidrick, you did the same thing when flying in the US. They say clear vision. The US love their visual approaches. Absolutely love them. But I'd still have the ILS system turned on. Even if I can see the runway, you know. Just have it on. It's just helps, doesn't it? KW, do I know the failures for the Fenix A320? What, all of them? God, no. That's why you have a QRH manual. And a very good ECAM. Flying Eagle 320 says, I said this because he himself has failed to land at Kathmandu due to not having any knowledge of the RNAV or the visual approach method. So today, watch how we do it. Okay, Flying Eagle, that's no pressure on me then. But hopefully you'll enjoy the approach, yes. KW, sorry, QRH, the Quick Reference Handbook. So if you've got a failure, check the QRH and see what it says. But the main thing is ECAM actions in the Airbus. The other thing is worth checking, I probably don't often think about this, but the MEL list, the minimum equipment list, because obviously that's something you check before you depart. You know, are we allowed to depart with whatever failure we might have? And you probably will be. The aircraft is backed up with multiple redundancies. But if you get a failure which then is a no-go failure for departure, you might be fine in the air, but then what happens when you land and you're in the middle of nowhere with no maintenance? I'm like, well, we can't actually depart again now, so we're stuck. Chalk, about midnight where you are, doing a Phoenix flight from Seattle to LAX. Check out the inner scenery. Have you tried the JFK one? That's quite impressive. Dennis, ever think the simulator will allow a pilot and a co-pilot? You can do that with, is it your controls? But not supporting the Phoenix aircraft just yet. KW, what if a failure happens when you go to a plane before takeoff? Will you be able to board another plane to do the same flight? KW, most of the time, well, yeah, you're exactly right. One of two things will happen. No, one of three things will happen. Number one, if it's a failure, that's a no-go item, then obviously the plane's going nowhere until mechanics can come sort it out, and that's it. We're done. You can go. If it's a failure which is not a no-go item, but there may be some kind of limitations on it. For instance, I was looking at something earlier today. So if your IDG, if one of your IDG failed, the hang on, it's easy to show you on the ECAM. Where's it gone? Is it on the fuel page? No. electrical page. So the integrated drive generator. If one of these fails, you can still fly. It's not a no-go item. So you've got backup, you've got number 2, but you also fly with the APU running. However, because the APU has a limitation on it, you can't fly higher than 33,500 feet. So yeah, that's an instance where you can still fly, but you have a limitation. So you just need to be aware of those. So there's obviously that to consider. But if it's a no-go item where you can't depart yet, mechanic needs to come and fix it. If they can't fix it, you will hopefully be able to board another aircraft if there's one around. That would only happen usually to a major hub like Gatwick or somewhere like that. If that can't happen, then the flight's probably very delayed until they can get another jet, or the flight's cancelled. Flygles has been subscribed for more than a year, saw the videos, always learning. It's always you always feel free and happy to ask any questions because I'm not irritated. Do you know what, Flyeagle? No, absolutely not, because I remember in order to have the sort of knowledge that I have now about flying the A320, I asked a billion questions. So we've all been in that same boat, so always happy to help anybody out. It doesn't matter. I often say this in the channel as well. There is no such thing as a stupid question, because it's at some point I will have asked that question. Kidrick, ATR Kathmandu to Paro would also be nice. We might do that as a members only stream. Right, just before we start setting everything up for the approach, just checking the weather. That's fine. Chalky, the A310. Do you know, I was only thinking about flying that the other day. We've not done it for a while. We did when it first came out, and I really did like it. The centre of gravity, Swiss pilot. You're not going to find it on your operational flight plan. It comes in your load sheet in the Phoenix, or you can find it on your full prediction page. So it's currently just there, 30.1. BebXD, thank you for the follow. And I've just realised as well, we've just tipped over to 3,000 followers on Twitch. Happy Friday, Twitch followers. Thank you guys for being here. Great to see that slowly climbing. Juliet Charlie Mike, is the fly-by-wire also capable of following a vertical path for the RNAV? No, it isn't, Juliet Charlie Mike, not yet. So you have to use FPA mode. There is a tutorial on YouTube that I've done about doing that. Swiss pilot, this is not the Neo, this is just the normal, if you like, the CEO version of the A320. Oh, an anonymous gifter has gifted a tier 1 sub to Playley123. Well, anonymous gifter, thank you so much for supporting us there on Twitch, and welcome to Playley123. Make sure you get yourself in the members lounge on our Discord server if you're not already on our Discord. FMI, will I be doing a coronation special flight to... No. Family time on the weekend. So, while I keep going silent, I am just reading charts, writing some stuff down, and basically getting ready to brief how we're going to fly this approach in so we don't end up making a hole in the mountain next to the airport. And whilst I'm chewing away on my Apple, Jojo the Boho has subscribed, tier 1 sub. Thank you so much on Twitch. Really do appreciate that. And Jordan Benson gifting 1 EasyJet SimPilot channel membership over there on YouTube. Jordan, mate, thank you so much for your support. And once again, for being here too. Welcome to Will, channel member, Will H, courtesy of Jordan. Thank you guys for your support. Really do appreciate that. And hopefully you're going to enjoy this approach in a little while. So get everything ready. We'll start this brief. Do it sooner rather than later. Still got some apple to finish. Dennis, you really want to get a good PC for swimming. We'll spend some money, but you know, the more expensive doesn't necessarily mean better. Where's a good place for information? Dennis, if you happen to be on our Discord server, there are loads of people on there far more knowledgeable than I am, who will be able to help you out. Christian, Dark Fury, to name a couple, who would see you right. Hey Jojo, I'm well, thank you. Literally just trying to eat this, eat my lunch as fast as I can so we can do this approach. So I do apologise, I keep going silent. Dennis says thank you. I'm old and not very tech savvy. Dennis, I don't consider myself old yet, but I'm also not very tech savvy, so the community has helped me out tremendously. Right, let's start setting up our box for this. Our box for this arrival. Just have a look and see if there's any nav aids. Kilo Tango Mike is the VOR on field. I don't think there's any others anywhere that could help us out. Okay, so flight plan page we've already gone through and done. So Kilo Tango Mike, get that in. Progress page, we're at 3.5, that's fine. I have to leave that one. No point going up now to the plan 3.7 because, well, we're coming back down again 100 mile. So let's put the airport code in, VNKT, and it's runway 20. Cost index we should probably put back to 18, but it doesn't matter because I'm using selected speed, so that's all alright. Let's get in the performance page. So the QNH is 1012. Temperature is a lovely 21 degrees. Winds 2705. Transition level is actually 150 according to the chart, so just update that. I'm going to be doing a fully config landing as well. Although, how long's the runway? That's actually quite a long runway. Right, well in that case it actually makes more sense to do config 3 landing. There is another reason for that as well. It makes the workload a lot easier. So yeah, config 3. Let's do that. And secondary flight plan. I'll copy our active flight plan. Hey Kevin, have you not seen this approach before? Hopefully it'll be entertaining and fun. Right, come on then, let's do this brief. Pens at the ready. So, weather for the arrival into Kathmandu, we see winds 270 at 5, so coming in runway 20. Visibility is 8 kilometers, which is fine. Just checking that our actual arrival, we need 3.5 kilometers, so we're legal to start the approach. That's alright. It's 21 degrees. QNH is 1012. As we're doing that, let's go set this. So that's done. And up here. There we go. So yeah, weather for the arrival is fine. Bit of a crosswind, but not a major one. Aircraft is still all behaved, haven't broken anything. No NOTAMs that we're bothered about today for the arrival. Threats to be aware of. Oh boy, where do we even begin with that? I'm not sure what's worse, unfamiliarity or the fact it's just surrounded by lots of mountains. You can see here actually the rate. In fact, does it give us a radius ring there? It does, but I can't find the number. Where is it? Oh, there, 10 miles. So yeah, so you can see we've just got terrain all sides of us. So if something goes wrong, it's basically almost like a terrain escape maneuver, isn't it? To be able to get out. However, it's a controlled maneuver. It's not actually a terrain escape maneuver, which is pull up and go. That wouldn't work. So need to really be on the ball with our situational awareness here. What was there was the clouds there. What was the few clouds 2,000 feet, which is for us, because of the altitude of the airport, going to be about 6,400 feet. So yeah, 6,400. So that's, yeah, it's going to be obstructing quite a little bit, I think, as we go down. So it's going to definitely be something that we need to be aware of. Should all be all right, but obviously the great thing about the Fenix aircraft is we've got the go-around track in there as well. So let's look how we're going to fly this approach. But yeah, threats, obviously that is going to be the biggest issue. Right, so we are coming in for the RMP AR approach, runway 20, and it's Simra 3 Romeo arrival. So we come in via Simra and Ratan, above 10,500 at Ratan. That's the initial approach fix, and then from here we're following this sort of RMP track all the way around. Now the plan will be, is mandatory to be 7,400 feet here. We've got 7,924, that isn't mandatory, however, but this, however, is. So at 419, which is right the way over here, even before that, to be honest, at sort of 424, at this point, I want to be flaps 2, pretty much getting the gear down as we're going, and then flaps 3 by 419, and then it's a nice 3-degree RMP approach all the way in and round. So stabilized approach is how we're going to do this. We'll just double check that our box and planned flight route in matches up. Let's just have a quick look at that, bring that on, and we can see it if we zoom in. Here it is. There we are. Yeah, so everything there looks like the chart should be fine. Oh, actually, if I just keep going through, just check the go around is there as well. Yep, so there's the go around, in, round, and we're going back out to the east via dark. Okay. Kevin Kitrick, yeah, I would imagine. I don't know for definite. You know, I'm not privy to that information with these airlines, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be special training required. Certainly, the airline needs authorization to fly this approach, and probably I would imagine a captain's only landing. Airlines that can't fly this approach can do the localized approach runway to runway 02, and then circle to land. But now we've got the RMP approach. It should reduce workload management, which is good. So, just final other things to mention. Runway is nice and long. You know, it's 3 kilometers and it's 45 meters wide. Pay attention as well to airfield elevation, which is about 4,400 feet. So just take that into account as we're going down. Right, let's go through the box then. I've already said how we're going to get ourselves sorted with regards to how we're going to fly the approach and configure. We'll use auto brake low for this arrival, and once we've landed, have a look where we're going to go. We'll get down, vacate via Delta or Echo, and then it's just taxis the main apron. Let's go through the box. So we've checked the box, all the waypoints are correct, the constraints are correct, everything's in the go-around track. That's all fine. Just check GPS 1, 2, that's working on the progress page. Estimated 0.03, that is fine. Accuracy high, so the GPS is working. We need that obviously to make this approach work. So flight plan page, that's in. RavNav page, we've got Kathmandu VOR coded in there. Progress page, we've just got that in here as well. Performance page, so we're going to be landing with, oh, we've not got the minimums in. What are they? 4705. There we go. Which actually, that's only about, what is it, 300 feet? Yeah, it's about 300 feet above, so, you know, the minimums are perhaps a lot later than you would expect for this approach. So QNH 1012, temperature 21, winds we've got in, transition flight 150, we're doing a config 3, landing, minimums in, cleans 225, VAT then 141. Looking to land, let's do a quick calculation here. Landing calculation. I'm sure this will be fine because we're not very heavy. So, what is it? 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62.4. Let's call it 62.5 tons. So runway is dry. $62.5. Flap 3. Actually, we'll use medium water brake. That would probably just make vacating a little bit easier rather than have to roll to the end. Yep, so that's fine. Get that on. So you have auto brake low then on for landing, and secondary flight plan, copy active, and we've got that in there. It's just the same. And now I think we can just start to see some of the Himalayas ahead of us. Other than that, I think we're good, guys. Top of descent is in about 10. Is it about 10 miles? Anybody any questions before we begin? I think the moonlit night is really helping. Hey Elliot, welcome back, mate. We've just done the arrival brief and we're all set, I think. Jojo on Twitch. Sorry, mate, I can't remember if I said thank you for your tier 1 sub. So thank you, mate, on Twitch for that. Eham, let's go for it. That's the spirit. Got a lovely tailwind. So do you know what? Here it is. Now we go down. So thrust idle, open descent, and 200 blue.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck once again, this is your captain speaking, and you will be delighted to hear that we will shortly be starting our descent into our destination. The cabin crew will shortly begin preparing the aircraft for our arrival, and if you could make sure all the aisles are now clear so that the cabin crew can make their way around the aircraft safely, that would be most appreciated. Thank you very much, and we hope you enjoyed your flight.
They may have enjoyed the flight. Let's hope they enjoy the landing. Silky Smooth. For the cabin announcements, I use a little payware add-on mod called Self-Loading Cargo. Love the moon reflecting off the off that river there. It's quite neat. Swiss any next flight ideas? No, I don't have that many ideas. Jordan, not a silly question. I told you there's no such thing. So transition altitude, transition flight level. So hang on, let me just check. I'm just going to wind that speed up, get us back on profile. The last thing I want to be doing is high here. Yeah. So at the moment we're if the transition flight level here is 150, so when we start to descend below 150, we're going down to an altitude, not a flight level. So at the moment we're using standard pressure. Once I wind this down to say, I don't know, 10,500 feet, that's below the transition altitude, so we will then be using local pressure. Altitude is local pressure, flight level is standard pressure, if that's probably the easiest way to remember that. Oh, there we go. Looks like we're catching up on that profile a little bit. Like I said, happy to get below it. Now look at this, look at this. Look at the fog in the valley. That is where we're going to be landing. What a truly awesome sight that is. Let's turn those off. How good does that look? That looks brilliantly. Chalky, the reason I'm not using VNAV to descent, good question, is because I want to get below our profile so we're not left high. If I can just have a look at the profile at the minute. So I'm about 500 feet above it. I'm going to wind that up a bit more. I'd rather be below it, because then we can start, when we start to level off, that's when we can lose all our speed. Silky Smooth, I've never used Pack X, so I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to say. It looks a bit ominous, that, doesn't it? You think, oh my god, I've got to get over this little ridge and then descend down into this basin of fog. And because we've approached it from here, we know that we've got all this stuff to avoid. It's, ooh, even in the sim that feels a bit like interesting, you know, we know it's there. Kittering, any difference between transition level in the ATIS versus the transition altitude on the chart? So, transition level, you're not allowed to descend, sorry, transition altitude, you're not allowed to descend below that as a flight level. So, normally listening to the, I mean, what is also confusing as well, particularly if you fly both the Fenix and the fly-by-wire, is in the performance page. Here in the Fenix it says, oops, here in the Fenix it says transition flight level, whereas in the fly-by-wire it says transition altitude. Transition altitude makes more sense here. I'm not quite sure why it's transition flight level. I think it's it must just be a different box. Kevin, any reason why the US have transition altitude at 1800 fixed? Probably just makes life a lot easier. Right, I'm just going to put a bit of speed brake out. Okay, right, we're going to continue that descent. So, thrust idle over descent and 12,000 blue. Here comes ATC. 1206. Kathmandu approach, good evening, Royal Nepal 202, passing flight level 180 for 12,000. Currently on the Simra 3 Romeo arrival, expecting RMP AR. runway 20. On the right frequency. One 206, yeah. Kathmandu approach, wrong Nepal 202, radio check. Just a quick question to see if they're receiving voice, because we're trying to get in touch, but see, this is not the kind of approach I want to be messing around with text messages on.
Nepal 202, Kathmandu approach.
Kathmandu approach, Royal Nepal 202, passing altitude 140 for 12,000, and we're on the 03 Romeo Ratan transition, expecting RMP runway 20. Right, I'm starting to lose sight of where we are, so I might have to come off VATSIM for this. I'm coming off VATSIM. So, I've disconnected off VATSIM. Let's get back on track with what we're doing. Oh, 442. Profile, we're still okay. So we're in descent mode, 7,400 magenta, that's fine. Let's activate the approach phase. That's done. Let's start slowing our aircraft down. There's our airport. To be honest, VATSIM's not important here. What's important is keeping up to date with the aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, you may have noticed we've begun our descent into our destination. We're not expecting any further delays or traffic in front of us in the next few days, so if you can assist the cabin crew by finding your tray, handling the back, and putting everywhere to take the bags provided. For safety reasons, please turn off all electronic devices and switch to airplane mode until we have landed. Please also note that the aircraft windows will shortly go out of use. Thank you.
Okay, let's get our lights on. Let's start configuring. Flaps 1, speeds checked, flaps 1. What an awesome sight. Flaps 2, speed checked. Flap 2, put the speed brakes away now, don't need those. We've caught back up with the aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fasten seatbelt sign has been turned on. Please ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and return to your seats immediately if you are not already seated. Infant seatbelts are provided for our passengers travelling with small children. Please ensure that they are secured safely and ask a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. The toilet will now go out of use until the fasten seatbelt sign is turned off. Whilst seated, please find the airline magazine in the front pocket, providing you with lots of information about the channel and the perks of becoming a channel member. Thank you.
Okay, so 7,400 by 419. We've got that set. Let's get the gear down. All our lights on. Start to slow the aircraft down as well. Flaps 3. Landing checklist. Strange go around altitude. So the cabin is secured for landing. Go around altitude is 10,500 feet. We've got, let's say, ECA memo, not active yet. Let's pop the approach mode on. Final approach, that's been captured. So now let's run that landing checklist. Cabin is secured, go around altitude is 10,500 feet. ECA memos, landing, no blue. However, that won't come up just yet, because we're not low enough. So landing checklist is currently incomplete. So that was one of the reasons as well I wanted to go for a flaps 3 landing. It means that we're done now. We've not still got some flaps to do and configure. I wanted to get that landing checklist out of the way.
2,500.
There we go. 2,500. Radar temperature alive. God, this just looks like it's bringing you so close. I will check out the wing views once we've landed. I have got the replay set up for this.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Yeah. So we're aware of that, obviously.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
I don't want to turn that off just in case we have to do a go around, and you know we want to be
terrain ahead. Pull up.
Cautious of where we are.
Terrain ahead.
Well, I've got flaps config 3. That shouldn't be right. Config 3, config 3, we've not got flaps, we've got flaps full. Ah. Right. Cabin secured for landing, go around altitude, 10,500 feet, ECMMO landing, no blue, and now we've got it there. Once we're happy we can see that runway, I'll disconnect and we'll get it on. Still on the VDEV, looks fine. This is now the safest bit. We're rolling away from the terrain, so we're happier now. There, runway lights, we can see those. Our runway track is 202.
1,000.
So autopilot's off, I have control. Flight directors are off. And a last minute turn.
Above.
Only 100 above minimums. That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Minimum.
Continue. Three reds, one white. Four reds. Not entirely convinced.
100.
Happy's are in the wrong place.
50. 40.
Too low.
30.
Terrain.
20. Retard.
So we've got spoilers applied, reverse green. Decel. Manual brakes. Reverse is off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now arrived at our destination. The crew will now commence preparing the aircraft for deboarding. Can passengers please remain in your seats with your seat belts fastened until the captain turns off the seat belt signs. You may now turn on your phones and electronic devices. Thank you for choosing to fly with us today, and please consider becoming a channel member to receive extra benefits on your future flights with us. Thank you, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Whoa, that gets the adrenaline pumping. What an awesome approach. If you haven't tried that yet, you know what to do. Yeah, would need to check a chart or even aerial images just to see. The Pappies didn't look like they're in the right place. They should be sort of beam the touchdown zone. So not too sure about those. Black Webby's got to turn the GPWS. I don't know. Every airline I've saw like their airport briefing pack for that. Some airlines will probably turn it off. I don't know if some leave it on, but just be aware that they're going to get that call out. I chose to leave it on because, you know, I knew there was terrain there. I could see it as well, but it was more in the event of a go around in case, you know, in case we had to go around and unfamiliarity. I wanted just to know that that was there, but. Yeah, you are probably right. Let's turn these off. Now that's done. So this is also the new scenery as well. Released only a couple of days ago. Might even have been yesterday. New Kathmandu scenery. It's freeware as well. Remember, freeware scenery. Barry, we're in Kathmandu, mate. Don't often see that, of course. There won't be a GSX profile available for this, but we will we'll give it a go. And then I really want to see the replay for this. Once we've got down, just checking the time here. We've got time to do that. And was it any plan on doing an X-Plane 12? I've not got it installed, so probably not. What I might do is I might just change the time as well. Should we have a look at it in the day? Do you want it? Do you want the nighttime one or do you want a daytime one? Or Or do you want both? We'll try both. So commented 79 on Twitch. No, not a default airport. FREEWARE airport. Free from flightsim.to. Tony said it looked like the old Kaitaka Pro. Yeah, I suppose it did a little bit, didn't it? The turn was a different way though. You used to turn to the right. Right, what's that? Is that stand 3? Yeah, I can just see it. Stand 3. Mark says sunset would be nice. Oh, that's a good shout, Mark. We might do that then. Might go for a nice sunset approach. Hey, Lucy. Day and night to see how close we get to the mountains. It did look close, didn't it? I can't wait to see the wing view. Yeah, just got a bit distracted by trying to sort out that issue with air traffic control, but to be honest, by the time I'm on an approach at that stage, I've committed to what I'm doing. The last thing you want is ATC coming on, I suppose, and saying, oh, actually no, you're going to do now the approach into runway 2. Well, that's not what I'd planned. It's not. It might be the one in use in real world at the minute. I mean, this is also one of those airports where aircraft will arrive onto 02 but depart on runway 20 just because there's less terrain in those directions. So it would have been realistic to do straight in 02, but that wasn't why we were here, was it? Shadowed answer, the Pappies appear to be around the central touchdown market. They usually are being the touchdown, the main touchdown area. So yeah, if that's where they should be. They were just set a bit back in this scenery. If I get any closer, I'm going to knock him over. That'll do. So that got us on the stop bar. I think we're a bit past it. Yeah, a bit past it. All right. Well, let's get rid of self-loading cargo. And should we have a watch of the replay? Hope you enjoyed that, guys. So once I got rid of V-Pilot and ATC and I could concentrate on the landing, I just felt like I was getting behind the aircraft, and this isn't particularly one of the approaches you want to do that with, is it really? So let's check this out. If it was a different time of year as well, time of month, etc., the moon might not have been quite as bright. Look at it reflecting down there at the in the rivers. Culminator 79, you like the way I taxi. So just you really don't need a lot of thrust, and I think the thing that really does help with taxi is rudder pedals. Not so much for the steering, but because you've got the brake pressure, so you can just bring it in. Shadow Dancer is a great way to see where the Pappies should be, and that would be to look at the Navigraph charts for it. That should show you exactly where the Pappies are. If they're shown, not all of the charts show them, I guess. Actually, it doesn't appear to show them on the charts that I've got. Yeah, we are close, aren't we? Kitrix says, just think that the Pappies were in op. Not something you want on these approaches, is it really? In op Pappies at night time. I think a sunset visual after this would look amazing. Imagine living in one of the little villages up here. Look how high the houses appear to go. I don't know if it's realistic or not, but can you imagine living up there? Imagine going shopping down in the city, then remembering you forgot something important. You have to go back. But like, oh, does Uber exist in Kathmandu? wonder if it gives passengers who aren't aware of the kind of approach it's going to be in surroundings a bit of a worrying feeling, this one, just because, you know, they'll be aware they're getting lower and lower and lower, and they're doing a full circle. Glad you enjoyed it, Elliot. I know you'll be on with the show now, Elliot, so thank you for being here. You get a small ATR ride down from top to... You could just jump off with a hang glider, couldn't you? It's getting back up that would be the problem. Definitely want to see this with some daylight, don't we? Spawn Examine, great name. Thank you for subscribing. That smog effect is so good, the haze. Oh, I don't know what the touchdown rate was, but looks pretty good to me. We'll take that all day, every day. Held on the centre line as well, which is nice. Yeah, that freeware scenery, I think that looks great. We will check it out with a bit of daylight in a moment. Okay, quickly rewind that. Got to keep an eye on the time. I probably can't do the full circle. Let's just have a quick look. Suggested a nice sunset. Oh, the problem with the sunset is it's probably going to look a little bit hazy, isn't it? So we'll just try that out. Bet that's quite blinding in the flight deck given the condition. Oh, can you imagine trying to do it in this? It was easier at night. Definitely easier at night because the light shone. Jordan, that scenery. Do you know what, Jordan? This hasn't had a world update or anything. This is just normal default stuff. It's brilliant. See, I touched down right abeam the Pappies. If the Pappies were in the right place, I'd have nailed it. Awesome. That is an epic approach. And if you want to download this scenery as well, check out the video description down below if you're watching on YouTube, as it has the link to this scenery. There's the fire station. Thankfully, we didn't need that. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this afternoon stream. Keeping you entertained for the last 3 hours. Thank you so much for being here. If you have enjoyed it, then please do hit that like button as you're on your way out. You've shown huge support for the channel as well this week and during this stream, so a massive thank you to everyone who has supported us. Really do appreciate it. I'm now probably away for the next 2-3 days. We have the bank holiday weekend, so not sure when our next live will be, but I promise I will of course let you know on YouTube. I will let you know, of course, on our Discord server if you are on there. So until then, whatever you're doing this bank holiday weekend, coronation weekend, whatever you want to call it, then thank you so much, and I hope you have a great weekend. Whatever you're doing, I'm going to leave you with this final replay. Have a great weekend, guys. See you all very soon. Bye bye.
Terrain ahead.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Terrain ahead.